So this video is part 2 of my review of the video interview that was done with Stephan Sterns. I will pre-warn you, this may be the last time I take a go at this. I've just worked my butt off trying to get the first one sorted out so it wouldn't be demonetized, and it's still demonetized. No idea why, because I've actually got the whole unredacted version of the interview queued up, basically unlisted, ready to go public, and there's no issues with that. Now, I did go through and have a look at the review spots where I swore, but you know, I do that on nearly every video. And I bleeped out all that in the first 20 minutes or so. There's absolutely nothing in that video that is a breach of guidelines. So basically, after spending 7 or 8 hours working on the video yesterday, and then being up and down all night trying to re-upload it every time it uploaded and was demonetized, and then spending all today working on trying to edit the damn thing to try and figure out why it was demonetized, doing all the processing, compressing, uploading, etc., it's still demonetized. So, you know, a day and a half of work, basically, and the sods still have to demonetize it for God knows what reason. I put in an appeal, but, you know, whatever the reason is, I have no idea why. I'm not holding my breath. So, yeah, I'm going to do this video. If this one comes up demonetized, I'm going to have to move on. As you may imagine, I do have some medical bills at the moment that my last YouTube payment has pretty much gone on. So, right now I can't afford to do it for free. So I'm really annoyed with YouTube, and I just think, well, okay, I'll do one more of these Sterns reaction videos. If it's demonetized, I'm going to have to move on. I mean, I might change my mind and just go, okay, well, blow it, I'll just finish it all and accept that it's going to be demonetized. But right now I'm just frustrated. Anyway, you guys don't need to hear that. I shouldn't be ranting about it on here, but I guess, you know, this happens to so many YouTubers that I think it's something that we should be open about. I know some people are negative about people monetizing their channels and earning money off them, but there's a heck of a lot of work that goes into these videos. And I've also noticed that it seems to mostly be true crime channels where people seem to think we shouldn't be monetized or we shouldn't be making money. I follow a lot of like travel and just, you know, daily blog type videos, and you never have people complaining about how much money they earn. So, you know, let's be open about it all. Now, there's the sound in the background, just to brighten things up a bit, is the Chihuahua playing with one of his toys. So you will probably hear that throughout the video, or at least throughout this part of the video, because I'm starting it quite late in the afternoon. I doubt that I'll get it finished today. As you can probably tell, I'm a little bit exhausted. I've only just uploaded that previous video. This one is essentially a day late now, so I want to try and make a start on it, but it probably won't go up till tomorrow. Okay, I'm really rambling this time, aren't I? So I had thought this was going to be a two-part reaction, but when I queued it up, I realised that I've really only covered about 40 minutes of a almost 3 hour interview. So there'll be more than a part two if I don't crack it with this and just move on to something else, as I've explained. I do have plenty more things that I want to talk about in this case. So while it will be incredibly frustrating if I don't finish this particular series, it's not going to shut me up, basically. Okay, so on that note, and while the Chihuahua's having an absolute ball with his toy, let's jump in and pick up from where we left off in the last video.
Alright, what happened to your hand?
Flat tire.
Oof.
I haven't changed a flat tire in about 10 years, so I made a rookie mistake and had my thumb too close to where the jack and the frame meet.
Mm-hmm.
And it slipped, and the frame came down on my thumb and pinned it between the jack, which I feel like I got off surprisingly light with that.
Ouch.
I yanked it free. You're not supposed to do that. It looks okay. It's got the worst of it. Some bruising under the nail.
Mm-hmm. What about the other scratches?
Courtesy of a janky tire iron and the road.
Notice the change in his demeanour. He is actually quite delighted right now that they're giving him that attention. It's like, you know, oh, poor little me, give me some sympathy. And finally they're paying attention. Now, I actually noticed his thumb, the nail is actually, it looks like it is black. So he may have actually caught his thumb, not his entire hand. He may have pinched his thumb. Now, obviously, he wouldn't have had the full weight of the car on it, but maybe he did actually pinch his thumb in the jack somehow. So there's possibly a little bit of truth to that story, but we know that those scratches have got nothing to do with changing the tyre. Now, people have debated that Maddie may have scratched him, but we know that in terms of the forensic analysis stuff, they found no evidence on her nails of basically her having scratched him. So I'm going back to my original theory, and this will no doubt start several debates off again. But hey, this is a good place for the debates because everybody seems to respect everyone's opinions. I do believe that the scratches on his hands and on his arms are from the barbed wire fence. Now, a few people believe that the gate was open to the property, but there's actually nothing in the documents that suggests that. And I mean, this is a rural property out the back of Whoop Whoop. It's got hay bales in the paddock, which I don't know what they're worth in Florida, but in Australia they're worth quite a bit. You're not going to leave a paddock open with a bunch of round bales there for people to just help themselves. We also have an account where on the particular day that they went into the property and found Maddie, we have an account of them actually, one of the forensic officers, I think, knew the owner of the property and they made contact and that someone came and unlocked the gate. So while some people do believe that the gate may have been open when he took Maddie there, I actually believe that logically and, you know, knowing what I know about, you know, rural properties and farms and stuff like that, I find it highly unlikely that the gate would have been unlocked unless there was someone actually there on the property. So I do believe, and I think I did see reference in one of the documents, I do believe that he actually would have had to have lifted Maddie over the barbed wire fence, placed her on the ground, and then climbed over or through the fence himself. And I believe that's what the scratches are on his hands. If you've ever scratched yourself on a barbed wire fence, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's definitely been there, done that. Trust me, it looks like barbed wire fence scratches just from the spacing of it and everything. I could be wrong. And I'm interested to know your theories as well on the scratches. So let's keep moving.
Did you bleed at all?
Yeah, this one had some blood and this one had some blood, but not much. It clotted fast.
Do you know what popped your tire at all?
No idea. Tire just started going floppy and then
Pretty worn
way
out or something?
floppier and then just completely freaking separated.
Now, if that's the truth, what he's saying there about it basically going flat and then getting floppier and then separated, he would have had to have driven a heck of a long way on that tyre for it to have happened that way. I know on one of the back roads on a country road where there was nowhere where I could pull over, I had to drive probably, I don't know, about 10, 20 kilometres on this narrow road with nowhere to stop to change a tyre. And I knew it was dead flat. I could feel it was dead flat. And even then, it was only just starting to shred when I finally managed to pull over to change it. So, yeah, I think maybe he did actually start getting it on the 192 and he drove all that way before he just ran out of tyre. Either that or it was a blowout and he just is too dumb to notice the difference. If he did drive all that distance on that flat tyre, it certainly supports everyone's beliefs that he was trying to head for one of the lakes because he was probably wanting to not pull over anywhere where he could have been seen, and he probably just reached a point where the tyre was gone and he had no choice anymore.
Thank God we had a spare and a jack. Janky as it was.
So typically when changing a tire and stuff, you tend to get brake dust and dirty and all that.
Yeah.
Did you happen to...
Positive that I breathed in some freaking brake dust or tire dust or something because I was coughing the rest of the afternoon.
The guy's such a dweeb. He just completely missed the point of their questioning. They really don't give a rat's ass if he breathed in brake dust. And you know what? I have changed more tyres than I could probably count. And I've never breathed in brake dust. Now, it is possible when you are in your really nice work clothes to change a tyre without getting black crap all over yourself. Speaking from experience. Personally, I can't see him being the sort of person who could actually manage that. So, their point is they're trying to establish if he had a shower or anything or has changed his clothes since then. He, of course, thinks it's just another opportunity to get sympathy.
Would you end up doing a cleanup or stop the bleeding and stuff?
Nothing, actually. Just
You
went
didn't get too
home
dirty?
and washed my hands and that was it.
Nothing, because he's a filthy, stinky, disgusting slob who never bothers to clean himself.
Clothes get all messed up and all, or...
Not bad, surprisingly.
What were you wearing, by chance?
This. So I think I'm still wearing this. I'm still wearing the same clothes.
Oh, so you kept pretty clean.
Try to, I guess.
You weren't wearing a red shirt?
I was wearing a red shirt early in the morning, but I changed clothes later because that shirt had been a couple days old at that point.
Honestly, these detectives should probably be wearing hazmat masks in there. I mean, the guy is just... I cringe thinking about how unclean this guy is. I changed his shirt because, that one was several days old. Dude, seriously. I bet you slept in it too, just like Jenn.
And the flat tire happened after that.
Did a flat tire happen before or after you dropped off to school?
After.
After?
After. It was sometime afternoon between noon and like 2:30. I don't know how long it took me to fix it.
And you changed your shirt before or after going back to get the gate clicker?
I don't recall. Maybe after?
Of course, I think most of us know by now that when Stephan says, I don't recall, the translation is, I don't know what you know. So I'm a bit rattled after the interview with Detective Tagler. So I don't know how to answer this. I'm going to say I don't recall. Now, I had presumed that he changed his shirt when he came back before he went back out to the tobacco store. But I'm going to have to look that up and figure it out, I think. Because it's interesting that they asked him about if he did it when he came back to get the clicker or afterwards. I do recall that in terms of the footage from the dumpster, that they have him in the red shirt there, I think.
I can't. I'm so sorry. I'm medicated. I've been medicated all week. My memory is just not as reliable as I would like it to be right now.
And here we go with the other excuse. I'm medicated. I've been medicated all week. Honestly, him and Jenn are as bad as each other, aren't they? Anything to avoid giving the answers. You can tell that, and I think this is great, but you can tell that Detective Tagler has thoroughly put the wind up him, because now he doesn't want to give any answers.
I was in a fog and half asleep that morning as it was.
Did you walk to the car on her own when you took her to school?
Yes.
Wow, I think that must have been redacted before. Did Maddie walk to the car on her own when you took her to school? Does that mean they have footage of him carrying her out to the car? Have they maybe got someone's ring camera footage that isn't mentioned in any of the documents? Or are they just testing him out to try and see what he's going to say, given his story about her being sleepy? And yes, it seems you get the works today. That's the other chihuahua snoring in the background.
What are you thinking about?
Sorry, I'm spacing out here.
Nice one from the detectives here. So they've asked him about if Maddie walked out to the car or he carried her out to the car or whatever. And then they've just sat there in silence and not said a word, and then come out with, what are you thinking about? Of course, he's not going to answer them. He's just going to go back to the being fuzzy-headed and, I haven't eaten, I haven't slept, I've been medicated for the last 1,000 days. Poor me, I can't answer anything.
Well,
Who else has access to your car? Are you the only one that drives it?
My parents have access.
But here in Kissimmee?
Yeah, in Kissimmee, I'm pretty much the only one with access to it.
My parents have access. Well, duh, that's because they're the ones that actually own it. This guy is a fool. He must think these guys are really that stupid. I mean, if they have the warrant for the car, Stephan, to seize it, which they did the day before, then they know full well that you don't own the car. They also know that you're the only one who's been driving that car while you're up at Kissimmee. So it's a good thing that you haven't tried to come up with any other stories.
So safe to say he'd be the only male driving that Lincoln?
Presumably, yes.
Oh my gosh, the guy cannot give a straight answer, can he? He knows that the only answer is, yes, I'm the only male that's been driving that Lincoln. But he also knows that it's an admission of guilt. So what does he say? Presumably, yes. So you think some random stranger just walked in off the street, took it for a joyride, came back and parked it back in the same spot? And did they borrow your keys as well?
I want to get back a little bit to your relationship with you saying she's not allowed to have boyfriends or anything like that.
She can have crushes. She likes them. That's
All right. Have you and her ever exchanged, like, do you guys exchange text messages? How do you guys communicate?
FaceTime. She'll FaceTime me at night when I'm not around before bedtime to say goodnight. I'll talk to her and her mom. And sometimes we don't even talk about anything. We'll just sit there doing our own thing and just with each other's faces on the phone. Just spending time, you know.
This guy is so full of himself, isn't he? He thinks that they're not going to find anything on his phone. So, are you communicating with Maddie? Oh, FaceTime. Because obviously, if you're FaceTiming someone, then whatever's occurred during that communication can't be found. So he thinks that they're not going to find any messages. Does this mean that he did delete messages from Maddie's phone? Because we know at least one message that wasn't deleted from Maddie's phone, and that's the one with the coins. But it does make me wonder if there were some messages deleted from Maddie's phone, or whether he's just too stupid to figure out that they're going to do a full download of Maddie's phone, having already done a full download of his phone. And, you know, you can factory reset your phone, Stephan, but they have the tools to find everything that was on there beforehand, or most of everything. Some things will be lost, but a lot of stuff can still be retrieved. He's really not using that supposed genius IQ of his right now, is he?
What happened? So the deputies made a comment. So what happened to your phone?
I have no idea what happened to my phone. I was pushing off doing this update for a while and ended up trying to do it. I don't know what the hell, my head being in the state it was, I wasn't paying attention. I ended up somehow doing some sort of option that updated the OS, but it ended up like wiping my phone at the same time. Even just now, the phone that my dad gave me and set up for me, I literally just pulled it out of my pocket and the sucker was reinitializing again. So I don't know if it's just me and technology right now, or I'm just not paying attention, or...
Did that happen?
Oh my gosh, did you just catch that? That had to have been redacted last time. So after giving the big long story of how he accidentally reset his own phone, he's just admitted that he just reset the phone that his father gave him as well. Meaning there must have been stuff that he accessed on that. So let's take a step backwards. Chris claimed that he gave Stephan that phone at 3 o'clock, just before detectives came and took Stephan to do the interview. Well, if he's doing a factory reset on that phone, he's got to have had that phone for longer. I had speculated that most logically Chris probably would have given him the phone the moment he saw them when he got to the hotel the night before or early that morning. Meaning that he's had that phone for a good 12 hours or so and probably tried to access things, tried to send messages, logged into various accounts on that phone, and probably didn't think that they would catch that. Or maybe he thought that he was going to just pass it off as being his father's phone. But it does sound like he has tried to do a factory reset on his father's phone, the iPhone. That's going to be interesting. That should come out in court. And how guilty is that going to make him look if he's actually done 3 factory resets, not just 2?
Once to your phone, or how many times do you think you updated your phone?
I think I tried to update it twice, and I don't know what happened.
He knows he's done. You could see, just before he said, I think I tried to update it twice, you could see him shoot a sideways glance at the detective to see what was going on, to try and read the detective. And then he's like, I think I updated it twice. Well, you know what you did, moron. Everybody knows what you did. It's just interesting that he seems to think that being vague is going to get him out of all this crap.
Okay, and from what I understand, that you gave the deputies consent to look through your phone. You did, okay. And you voluntarily gave it to them so they could bring it here to do the extraction and stuff like that. Okay.
So there's more confirmation from Stephan that he gave them permission to take his phone and that he understood that they were going to do the extraction. So this whole motion of saying that he didn't, all the phone stuff can't be used because it's like, fruit of the poison tree. Well, it's pretty clear that he gave permission. With or without a warrant, I think that's going to be sufficient.
What do you think was on the phone?
Text messages.
Mm-hmm.
Emails. Old stuff.
Pictures?
Oh, yeah.
What kind of pictures were on there?
The look he gave him, the tone of his voice, and the shrug of his shoulders when he's like, yeah, pictures, that was defiance. So I suspect that at this point in time, the penny is starting to drop for Stephan. And he's suddenly realising that the images that he thought that were gone from his phone aren't gone. Of course, we know he's a gutless wonder, so is he going to admit to the photos that he's got on his phone? Not a chance.
Training card pictures, lightsaber pictures, Disney pictures.
This moron honestly seems to think that he's got one over them. That they don't know what the images were on his phone. Reeling off all these really inane things because he doesn't realise that they've got the other images on his phone. Note the big sigh beforehand. That is clearly another sign of disdain. You guys are just So ridiculous. Why do you need to know what photos I've got on my phone? Why is it your business? They're just ordinary everyday photos, and let me tell you what they are in terms of ordinary everyday photos. He's in for a rude awakening.
Do you have a Google account?
Yeah.
Do you save pictures to your Google account?
Sometimes.
Or is it automatically? I know sometimes phones sync to a cloud and.
Yeah, I think it backs up to Google.
Mm-hmm. And then sometimes when you reset your phone and your phone updates and puts these apps back on your phone, sometimes they will put the images back on your phone.
I'm not sure.
Now, poor little Steffi Weffy has got to be crapping his pants about now. The detective is laying it out pretty clearly. We've got the images that you thought you had gotten rid of. But Stephan's still not going to admit to it. This guy has had a lifetime of basically lying to his parents and getting away with it. And he seems to think that he's going to do this with the detectives. He's probably already trying to come up with some likely story.
Do you have any pictures on your phone?
Oh, I assume so.
Now, my dog Taka, this is my bigger dog. She's a Kelpie Labrador cross. And she's actually a really well-behaved dog 90% of the time. But just occasionally, she might spot where someone's left a plate unattended with a bit of food left on it. Or she loves coffee, so she might spot an unattended coffee. But before she actually tries to go and steal whatever it is she's got her eye on, she starts whimpering and dobbing on herself. Because she understands consequences. And she's basically admitting, I want to be naughty, Mum, so I'm going to tell you now. Who do you think's more intelligent, her or Stephan? These guys are essentially telling him, we've got you banged to rights. Have you got any photos of Maddie on your phone? I assume so. Well, you know what happens when you assume? Yeah, I think you do, Stephan. But it's only you that it applies to. The guy is a complete utter moron. I don't understand how Deb could even be remotely convinced that he had an IQ of a genius.
Do you have any pictures of you on your phone?
Probably. I mean, we went to Disney, took selfies on the train. She got back from Puerto Rico and had her hair braided. We got pictures of that. All sorts of pictures of family events. I'm not as much of a shutterbug as her mom, but I take them every once in a while.
I swear this guy has the IQ of a gnat. He must know what they're talking about. The dumbest person on the planet would have to know what they're talking about. It just shows you how calculating and manipulative he is. Because he still thinks he's getting away with this. He doesn't want to admit to it in case they don't have anything on him. But it's pretty damn obvious based on the questions that they know exactly what is on that phone.
Any other pictures that you think of? Here's where I'm going to be brutally honest with you. There's pictures of you on your phone. And I'm pretty sure you know what some of those pictures are about. You're a very intelligent person. And I don't want you to discredit yourself by saying you don't know about all the pictures that are on your phone. You understand what I'm saying?
So he might not be, at this point in time, admitting to any of it, but you look at his body language and he's nodding his head. He's admitting that those images are on his phone. So it might not be a verbal admission, but it's definitely an admission of guilt. And now you've got the silence. Stephan doesn't know how to deal with this because he's never actually been confronted over things that he's done wrong in the past. He's always been able to gaslight his way out of it. He probably still thinks that he can.
So do you want to add to the list of pictures?
Should I be talking with a lawyer right now?
He's so delusional. He's like utterly disconnected from reality right now. They basically laid it on him. He knows that they've got him. And instead of saying, I'm not going to say anything more, I'd like a lawyer, he's asking them, should I be talking to a lawyer or asking for a lawyer about now? Well, of course they're not going to tell you yes, because they want to get as many answers from you as possible, don't they? So they're not going to say yes. But if you had a decent IQ, you would probably figure out what the answer to that is. Again, we are seeing Stephan at his finest. He thinks that a lifetime of getting away with crap means that he can do it again here. He's probably already working on some wonderful story in his head to explain it all away. Of course, he's also waiting for cues from them to find out just how much trouble he's in.
I can't answer that question. My sole purpose right now is to see if I can find where he is. And I'm really hoping you can help me.
Okay. Well, I'd like to try to help, but I feel like I should probably have a lawyer present at this point.
So you're wanting an attorney?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. That can happen. I want to let you know you're not free to leave.
Okay.
You're being detained, okay? Do you want to know what you're being detained for?
Yeah.
Capital sexual battery and possession of child pornography.
Okay.
Barely a reaction from the guy. I wonder if he's not actually realised the magnitude of what he's facing and he's thinking, oh, well, that's a relief. They're not actually charging me with red rum. Because I think that's probably at the forefront of what he's worrying about right now. He knows what he did to Maddie. He probably thinks he can talk his way out of the images. He probably thinks that it's going to be just a slap on the wrist and that they'll send him home. He's figured out that he needs a lawyer. But it took him a while. Now, let's just remember, he told his parents, about this point in time, he was supposedly having a catastrophic mental breakdown. Well, I don't see any signs of that whatsoever. He seems pretty cool, calm, and collected. He doesn't want to give away anything because in his head, he's had a lifetime of getting away with everything. And I think he still believes he's getting away with this.
So we're going to step out. If you need anything, please tap on this door. Okay? And there's going to be detectives outside that will be able to assist you.
Okay.
Well, good luck to you, Mr. Is it Sterns?
Yeah.
Sterns. Stern.
You know, he really is a selfish pig. They've played their cards. They've admitted that they've got information. They've seen these images. They've got these images. He knows he's going down for this. And yet when they asked for help for finding Maddie, no response. It shows you how much he truly cared about Maddie. He only cared about Maddie while he could take advantage of her. Now that he's lost that, he's not worried about whether or not they find her. So I was wrong about this being more than 2 parts. I didn't realise how quickly the interview ended after we started back onto it with today's session. Now I am going to play some of the highlights from the end of this video. The good news is, thankfully, the state were better at redacting certain parts of this video towards the end, because that was traumatic. The first time I got hold of this video, it wasn't very well redacted, I will tell you that. But there's a few bits at the end that I think are worth sharing. So let's look at those before we finish this video.
Stephan, so what's going to happen now is we have a warrant to collect a couple of items from you, okay? So basically this young lady here, we're going to swab your cheek, we're going to take some of your clothes, stuff like that, okay? So she is going to take some pictures of you as well, like your hands, and we're going to ask you to take your jacket off so we can get your arms and all that stuff too, okay?
His lack of reaction here is quite disturbing, really. I realise that the guy's had, 4 hours sleep. He's probably got God knows what sorts of drugs in his system. But has he not realised that he's being arrested? That he's just about to be thrown in jail?
Which part, Mark?
What?
Do I need to read
Oh, but yeah.
the whole thing?
Yep.
All right, so in the name of the state of Florida, all right, any sworn Kissimmee police officer, Osceola County Sheriff's Deputy, Orange County Deputy, sworn investigator of the State Attorney's Office of the Ninth Judicial Circuit Court of Florida, Special Agent of Florida Department of Law Enforcement, FDLE, or any sworn police officer, Deputy Sheriff acting under a mutual aid or cooperation agreement with the Sheriff's Office of Osceola County. Whereas before me, the Honorable Judge, it's hard to read his handwriting, of the Ninth Judicial Circuit of Orange County, Osceola County, a sworn written application affidavit search warrant has been made on this date by Detective Moore of the Kissimmee Police Department, assigned to the Criminal Investigations Division. And whereas the facts made known in this application and search warrant, there may be cause to certify and find probable cause to believe that certain evidence, to wit, DNA, genetic material, buccal swabs from you, Stephen Michael Sterns, blood, saliva, or epithelial cells to be collected from you, Michael Sterns, photographs and swabs of your penis, and clothing worn by you as of right now. All right, this is evidence. This is believed to be evidence of the felony crime that we've already talked about that took place in Florida, which is a violation of statute 7940114B and 8270715A, prohibiting the crimes of sexual battery, possession of material depicting sexual performance of a child. Currently exists within Orange and Osceola County and is presently believed to be under your control, Stephen Michael Sterns, and that the law relating to said offenses are possessed on you, who is more specifically desired below, and then it has your name and date of birth and social. So Stephen Michael Sterns is your first name, social, date of birth 4/25/1986, and you're a white male, black hair, brown eyes, 6'2". Now therefore, the law enforcement officer named above, which such lawful assistance as may be necessary, you are here commanded in daytime, nighttime, or on Sunday, as the exigencies of the situation may require, to enter and search the above listed person that we talked about earlier, with the taking of the DNA material, buccal cells, through a buccal swab, which will be done by the appropriate personnel, and will involve no unreasonable intrusion into or upon the body of you, Michael Sterns, for which the evidence is to be collected. The person and evidence requested is reasonably believed to be engaged in or connection with the said illegal activity we talked about earlier. For this evidence described in this warrant and in the same of any part thereof to be found, you are hereby authorized to seize, secure, collect, photograph, examine, analysis, and videotape said evidence in this search warrant. All right, after we're done, a proper inventory receipt will be given for any evidence or property seized, and a completed duplicate copy of this search warrant will be delivered to you in control of the property searched, or in the absence of any such, we will leave a copy, but you're here today, so we'll give you a copy of the search warrant. All right? And then it just states that we have to do the search warrant return within 10 days after executing the search warrant as of today. All right? This will be your copy here.
I honestly don't think he's processing what they're telling him right now. Yes, you've got a drastically increased blink rate going on. You get a sigh partway through. At one point you get that sideways look, which is a filthy look at someone, and I'm guessing that it's going to be one of the detectives that's questioned him that he's giving that look to. And then, of course, you get the looking up. I think for him, he's just, at that point in time, sick of this person yabbering and wants to get on with it. I don't think he's actually twigged yet to the fact that what all these big words that are probably too big for him to understand mean is that they're going to strip him down and thoroughly embarrass the shit out of him.
So go ahead and stand up. She's going to go ahead and take some pictures of you.
If you could stand just in front of the wall here. And if you could put your hands out like this. And turn them over. You want me to take off his watch? Yeah, that'll work. And your hat also, please. you could open your mouth.
I think this lack of reaction that we're seeing right now comes from, like we've discussed before, a lifetime of getting away with everything. This is new territory for him. And I think he's struggling to process it. Like, he's probably thinking, how did I get to this point where I couldn't talk myself out of this one? Although he's probably also, in some delusional way, thinking he's still going to get out of it, because that's been his pattern his entire life. Mummy and Daddy have always stepped in and helped him out. And he's probably thinking, I wonder if my parents will talk to Jen and get her to say that she doesn't want charges against me about this, or, you know, all that sort of things. I'd imagine he doesn't realise where this is taking him. Complete utter disbelief, not because of innocence, but because he's never been held accountable for anything his entire life. And he's probably expecting this is going to go away as well.
Do you think I'm sure? Okay. Your shoes? Go ahead and turn around, face the wall, put your hands behind your back, put them together like you're praying. There you go, just like that. Go ahead and spread your feet for me. Thank you.
I feel pretty certain that they intentionally got the female forensic officer in, and they intentionally got this officer in to put the cuffs on him, because they wanted to humiliate this guy as much as possible. Now, there is a brief appearance coming up from Detective Tagler, so I will leave that in also. You won't see much of her, but that's okay, because I've now got a video that I'm going to share with you, probably as my next video.
You make sure to go to the Alright, and then there's certain things we're looking for, so we need to find the marks. Don't do anything squirrely, man. You will eat the carpet. Do you understand?
Cue Detective Tagler. So that was Detective Tagler who just walked into the room, just to make sure that this guy is about as humiliated as he could possibly be. I think her timing is utterly perfect there, and I'm pretty certain that was intentional, because she would have been watching from outside the room. And I mean, given that she spent a lot of time interviewing this guy, did 2 interviews with this guy, she is the one person who thoroughly managed to emasculate him. So kudos to her for managing to walk into the room at that point. He would have remembered who she was, and that would have just added to the humiliation so much. So satisfying to watch that. As for the forensic officer who said don't do anything squirrely, man, or you will eat carpet, I think that's Julie Junko, I may be wrong, but huge kudos to her as well. That was such a brilliant line.
Can you take a picture of that marker there, please?
You got another one under?
Okay. Well, I need a flashlight or a light or something, please.
Given the unredacted portion that got sent out previously, I'm going to say they probably also need a magnifying glass.
Where am I on? Oh, I'm sorry. No, you're
Yes,
okay.
okay. Can somebody else flash her? It was on this side, right here somewhere.
Okay.
See?
Okay.
So, in case you hadn't picked it, they're basically using Stephan's images as a reference for the photos that they're taking here for forensic comparison. So, Detective Tagler has those images, or had a image on her phone, and she's showing the forensic staff where to photograph, basically based on that image.
I don't see it. Can you show me the freckle, please? You know what I'm talking about, Mara?
It's the one he took over there.
That was a freckle?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Your
Sorry.
hands in front of my If you, is it on this side, you think? Turn this way for me, please. Face me. Light on.
Oh, that's brilliant. I just realised that Detective Tagler is also using the torch on her phone to highlight what needs to be photographed. I'm surprised this little boy isn't bawling his eyes out about now. This would have to have been one of the most humiliating experiences of his life. This from someone who has always, or believes he's always been able to control females. He's always manipulated them, that's for sure. And now he has 3 females who are basically treating him to the most embarrassing experience imaginable.
I'll be with you in a second.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me take this off.
No idea what he just said then, but suddenly this guy is wide awake. It's no more of this pathetic little act from him, the poor little me, I'm tired, I'm cold, I'm drugged up. No, he is fully alert. And I wouldn't be surprised if they actually use this in court, the prosecution, just to prove how much of a complete little weenie little liar he is. It's so satisfying to see him brought down like this.
Right up all the way. Can you stand up for me, please? You can face me. I'm gonna try to cover you as much as I can, okay?
Is there any way to have my arms through the holes in the handcuffs?
No, sorry.
Just I get really claustrophobic like this. I feel like I'm gonna do this act.
We
It's not a long time.
can leave your chest exposed a little bit.
It's more just my arms being.
Yeah. No,
Yeah, it's not gonna change.
It's not a far drive at all.
This is his copy. Yeah.
Last sip of water before you go?
Oh, yes, please.
Yes, okay.
Please and thank you.
I have to say that if I was Detective Tagler about now, I would have thrown the water in his face. I think that is part of the reason why she is so effective as a detective, because she is so mild-mannered. And even in the questioning, when she was really hammering it in, she still came across as mild-mannered. So I think that's one of her secret weapons.
All of it?
We won't go on until we get it done.
Would you like some more?
Go on. Just unless I'm trying.
Okay, head out there, just wait with her, she'll get you a little bit more water, and then I'm gonna check this room, and we will get out of here.
So that brings us to the end of the recorded video with Stephan Sterns. You will have noticed I've actually removed a heck of a lot from the end there, but I did want to just add the highlights, and of course I thought most of you would have been quite satisfied to finally actually know who Detective Tagler is. People may have realised from watching that previously, or may not. So I think watching the end of this was quite satisfying, because he just had no idea how to react. And to have 3 females basically responsible for the ultimate humiliation just made it so much better. I'm not sure I've got much more to add about this. I'm looking forward to your comments. I haven't decided which video I want to cover next. I still have a few of these unredacted states versions to cover. There are 2 Jenn Soto ones that I have to do, so I might move on to those. I might release a short video, which is a Detective Tagler one. I might actually do a bit of research, see if I can find any videos on Detective O'Malley at the same time to add into that. But certainly that's the end of Stephan Sterns for us in terms of these interviews, which we can all now breathe a sigh of relief. As much as we hate Jenn Soto, it is far less painful listening to her interviews than it is listening to his interviews. So on that note, please, if you are new to my channel, subscribe. Also hit the like button and leave a comment below. Let me know all your thoughts on this video. Thank you, and I'll catch you in the next one.